Hi, my name's Georgia.
And I'm Zac.
And we both head up the national and timed auctions on behalf of Auction House London.
Georgia, what is a timed auction?
A timed auction is a set time frame and date where we list a property, very similar to eBay. It has a start window and a finish time, and you just bid as you please, and you're also notified as soon as you're outbid and also if the reserve has been met. Zac.
Yes.
What's the most dramatic thing you've seen just before a property is about to end in the auction?
I mean, a lot of the bids normally come in like right at the end, especially because when you bid at the end, the timer refreshes for another minute, always gives someone another chance to bid. So the last minute is about sometimes 10 last minutes and just constantly last bid, last chance, and people go on then one more, why not? What do you think are some of the pros that you get from the timed auction that you don't get in the live stream auction?
The pros, I would say, for the timed auction is there's a set window of a start and finish date, whereas the live auction, it usually finishes in one set day. And you can't necessarily roll over to the next day if the property is listed in the first day auction.
Also, don't always know what time the lot's going to be offered.
Exactly, correct. And you naturally get notified online if you're outbid, and you can also bid anywhere in the world. But I don't think if you were doing the live auction, you'd get that notification. You have to be online there and then, ready to bid. Whereas this timed auction allows you to have a set window to still place your bid before the end time.
There's also a lot of less pressure doing the timed auction. All you've got is a clock ticking down.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as you bid before the 24 hours, then your bid's in.
What do people assume incorrectly about timed auctions?
I think they assume that sometimes it's less attractive properties in there, when realistically it's just a different method of bidding entirely. But you still have the power of an online bidding system with multiple people able to access it and treat it the same way we would any other lot in the live stream auction. So there's a lot of hidden gems in there that I think a lot of people might not be seeing. Do you think timed auction is better for buyers or for sellers?
I think both. I think naturally with our timed auction, if you're in a rush or you have a time restraint to sell a property, you can let us know the date the property needs to sell by, and we can amend the start and end date to suit. For anyone watching, this is how the timed auction works. Ensure you've read through the listing and noted the guide price. There should also be a tab available for you to download the legal pack. If it's not there initially and you've tried to download the legal pack, you'll receive a courtesy email as soon as it's been uploaded. It's really important to make sure you've read through the legal pack just so you know what you're buying and any details about the property itself.
And then registering to bid for the timed auction is basically the same as the live stream auction. You'll upload your ID, you'll agree to some terms and conditions, and obviously once you've read through the details and you're happy with it and you're registered, we'll approve your registration and you'll be ready to bid.
Yeah, I would say not to leave it too late to register, just so there's no rush or pressure for you to get it in on time and for you to potentially miss out on placing a bid.
The lots normally only last for 24 hours. So you want to make sure that you're in and ready as soon as it starts. And just because it's 24 hours doesn't mean you need to bid at the very last minute as well.
Yeah,
you can bid at any point you want. You can even put in proxy bids or put in increments at your own level, which of course you can't do to the same extent in the live stream auction.
What's the most common oops people make when bidding an auction?
I guess something like not fully reading all the details or doing your due diligence. We try and make sure that everything's as crystal clear on the website, whether it be the details itself, the legal pack, any addendums, any viewings, etc. So, we put those details out there for the buyers to see. And we want to make sure that before you're bidding, you've read through every single bit of that and you know exactly what it is you're bidding for. Why do you think timed auctions are so popular now? I
think it's more popular now because there's more dates. You can list a property, it happens weekly.
Much more flexible.
Correct. And I feel if there's a specific date you need to sell by, we can adapt the auction our end to suit that and meet your criteria. I also feel like it's less pressuring than if it were to be in the room, especially if you're a first-time user and it's just a bit easier to follow.
I also feel like the timed auction encourages people to do their prep properly. When they know that it's at this exact time and only for this long, they want to make sure that they get everything in before the time runs out. And that's obviously a win for both the buyers and the sellers, knowing that the buyer's done all of their clear due diligence.
I also feel it can feel less intimidating with it being on the screen. And like you said, it's a specific time slot, which is usually 24 hours. So you know exactly when it starts and when it finishes. What property or type of seller does the timed auction suit well?
I think all property types suit the timed auction very well. Because we still go to a similar pool of buyers, and at the end of the day, if it's a good enough property, it will sell regardless of the method. But obviously the timed auction is a great method for it. With sellers, I think it suits those that need to sell at a specific date, that if we may not have a live stream auction on that date, we can add one in for them, we can offer it for them, and potentially even get them a better sell than they would have done in the live stream. Any last advice for buyers for timed auctions? I
would just make sure you carry out your own research before registering to bid, just so you know everything you need to know about the property. I'd also, if you win, ensure or at least advise insuring the property on exchange. I think sometimes a lot of buyers query if the property should be insured by exchange or completion. We usually advise, although it's entirely down to you, we advise for it to be insured at exchange, not completion, but that's entirely down to each buyer. Do you have any thoughts for sellers potentially?
I would definitely say to have the conversation with us, and once they give us the property to take a look at, we can tell them whether we think it's more suited for the live stream auction or the timed auction, especially if they need it done by specific dates. Putting in the timed auction is a really fun and interesting method of getting their property sold.